Here in Ukraine, more than 70% of the country's land is used for agriculture. With its famous black earth, Ukraine represents one of the most fertile regions in the world. No surprise then that agriculture remains crucial to the country's economy. Take the dairy sector, important as Ukraine is traditionally a net exporter of milk and dairy products. In the past 20 years, however, dairy exports have been in steady decline as imports have risen.
Actually, from the childhood, I recall all the fields full of cows, full of impression of the fresh milk. And in case you will ask everybody from our country, everybody will tell you the story about the milk. Local producers are from the villages, and the history of the milk production and the milk traditions are actually going from the villages and from the local producers who own from 1 to 5 cows. So in our country, the milk production has more social impact and factors than industrial one.
Private household farms traditionally account for the majority of total milk production in Ukraine. But milk quality and seasonal fluctuations in supply have become major concerns. These factors are recognised as impediments to the development of the country's dairy industry. As both export and domestic markets become more demanding, raising the average milk production per cow and meeting milk quality standards has become critically important.
To tackle those ambitious issues, we had to find partners to work with in Ukraine. Very fortunately for us, at that time, the Association of Commercial Milk Producers was formed. It was a very young and very ambitious association, and we've discovered that they had the same vision as we did. So we invited them to a forum where associations of dairy processors as well as the government were also invited, and we did a roundtable format to discuss those issues that we've discovered. And the government agreed that they needed more dialogue with the private sector.
In 2013, we have realized that besides good quality milk and milk production per cow, there are other things which are important. And we tried to find a communication with our government, especially with the Ministry of Agriculture, and it was rather difficult because we were as a non-government organization, and at that time nobody wanted to talk to us. So we have met with a representative of FAO, Mr. Yermak. I clearly remember that day. It was during our dairy conference, and he offered us a project together with FAO and EBRD, and I was very skeptical about that at the beginning because we never believed in any kind of projects and grants and so on, because we were, as an organization, we are supported and paid completely by the farmers. But after a while, we have realized that it's could be quite interesting because FAO is a respectful organization, and EBRD is one of the main investors in the agricultural sector of Ukraine. Then we decided to step into this project.
For us, from the ministry side, we are fully engaged in this process. Efficient industrialization is really essential. We provided changes in legislation in this regards, and we are trying to switch the standards of our milk industry on the highest position.
In 2013, the Ukrainian Dairy Sector Working Group was formed with the intention of transforming the sector. The working group introduced change to government legislation and developed the investment case for industrialization. Knowledge transfer was key, and a study tour to the United States gave Ukrainian dairy farmers an insight into new practices and techniques. This provided farmers the impetus they needed in order to invest in their own facilities and in their own futures.
В процесі реконструкції ми перевели тварин на безприв'язне утримання, побудували доїльний зал фірми Делаваль 2х16 і на одній з ферм, де утримується 500 корів, установили 8 роботів-доярів. З будівництва ферми, де процес доїння проводять роботи, ми отримали молоко екстра-класу Тобто бактеріальна самосінність становить 20 тисяч колоній умовних одиниць при соматиці до 100-150 тисяч. Також високі показники по якості молока має і ця ферма, де ми знаходимося.
This increase in the quality of milk has also been matched by increases in efficiency. But it is not only the milking process which has benefited from investment.
У виробництві молока велике значення мають корми для того, щоб отримати більшу продуктивність тварин. Для цього ми побудували комбікормовий завод, який знаходиться перед нами, для того, щоб ефективно балансувати раціони.
Farmers have discovered that when you invest in a high quality of milk, you actually end up with a more efficient milk production because you improve animal health, you improve your facility, and everything works just so much better.
However, Ukrainian farmers have had more to contend with than just the challenges of modernization. The country itself has suffered many challenges.
Farmers were not completely confident and they had to invest a lot of money into upgrading their facilities, improving the quality of milk, but they did have a very good level of trust to the Association of Milk Producers. They were explained that most of the countries went through this process and we would be having to produce much higher quality products to be able to export them.
So now we are trying to open new markets, which is not easy after we lost Russian market. But we managed to also accept food safety law, identification law. Now the 12 Ukrainian factories are approved for EU market.
We can analyze the situation in 2015. In 2015, it was possible for us to open several markets, several new markets for our agricultural producers of the milk and milk-derived products. For example, China, for example, European Union and others.
Since the establishment of the Dairy Sector Working Group in 2013, success has come in no small measure. In only 3 years, milk productivity at commercial farms has increased by 21%, and the share of milk obtained from commercial farms by processors grew from under 50% to over 62%. The quality of milk and dairy products has increased, methods have become more efficient, and markets more accessible. But perhaps the most important change is in the mindset of the country's dairy farmers and processors.
A lot of support and help we got from FAO actually. And EBRD, because they have knowledge not only in Ukraine or countries like Ukraine, they have knowledge all over the world. So this is amazing what can be done if you really have energy to push it.
From the very beginning, this project was all about cooperation and communication and working together, and they can go on and make it even more successful in the future.